If band names were literal, what would be the best/worst concerts to attend? Fine Young Cannibals. Megadeth, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. REM would be a snooze fest. Rush. It'd probably be like 5 seconds. I'm sure Sex Pistols would be interesting. Blue Man Group would be the exact same lol. Smash Mouth. A Flock of Seagulls would be pretty awful tbh. Conjuring mental images of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Tame Impala would be cool. You could go up and pet the Impala. Everybody would be disgusted at a Papa Roach show. The Killers. The Police would be quite unfun. Circle Jerks. I could just go to Home Depot if I wanted to see Tool. Scorpions would be pretty bad. With special guest Whitesnake. Cradle of Filth and Napalm Death would probably be up there. Jimmy Eat World would be a bad one. Counting Crows would be pretty dull. 1. 2. Oh, I guess that's all of them. Caw. Gorillas would be pretty scary. Kiss would be a time. Good or bad Ike. Most mediocre, Kansas. I think One Direction would be pleasingly well organized with a one-way system. I don't fancy getting stuck in a hellstorm. Can't beat Nirvana. The B-52s could only play at incredibly large venues. I don't think Led Zeppelin would go down well. Can't beat Bare Naked Ladies. Worst, Anthrax. If you're hungry. Bread, meatloaf, humble pie, and cranberries would be great. Worst, Poison, Rat, Dire Straits, Hollywood Vampires, Drive Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The Postal Service suddenly becomes incredibly boring. No offense postal workers. But not exactly a thing you'd buy a ticket for. Explosions in the sky would just be a fireworks show. The new pornographers might get a little awkward. Pee-pee poo-poo concerts would be very stinky. Garbage would stink. Arctic Monkeys would feel like a good trip to the zoo. Pussy Riot. I'm scared and aroused at the same time. At least you could get a suit hastily made at the Taylor Swift show. Smashing Pumpkins would be cool. Butthole Surfers would be a blast. Panic at the Disco would be absolute forking bedlam. Diarrhea Planet would be awful. They might be giants. Wind's most suspenseful smile. A Fish concert would be a bunch of people stealing your information. Saliva. No, thanks. Alice in Chains would either be disturbing or kinky. I can imagine flogging Molly wouldn't be too pleasant. The Flaming Lips would probably want to get checked out at the free clinic. I'm not the biggest fan of babies, but Infant Annihilator would probably be very not okay. Neutral Milk Hotel doesn't sound like it'd be a great time, unless if you're like super into milk. Men at Work. 90 minutes watching a construction site. Puddle of Mud. Bowling for Soup. Muse. Just a bunch of folks sitting around thinking quietly to themselves. Can't decide if best or worst. Drake, but it's just a duck on stage. 10,000 Maniacs would be up there for worst. Best, Bare Naked Ladies. Worst, Napalm Death. Most boring, Black Flag. Most confusing, Portugal. The Man, most lucrative, Nickelback. Who? Pigeons playing ping pong would be something. Tenacious D would be funny, just a really persistent penis. Cannibal Corpse would be mildly unpleasant. Death, Anthrax, Megadeth, Gamma Ray. I wouldn't survive as a metalhead. The Dead Kennedys would be silent, I suppose. Dying Fetus would be pretty rough to watch. Motionless in White would be quite boring, I think. Earth, Wind and Fire would just be a bonfire? Wouldn't want to be stuck at an Iron Maiden gig, grimacing face. The Cure. Death Cab for Cutie would be chancy. Cannibal Corpse would be bad. Smashing Pumpkins, no matter the way you look at it, sounds fun. I'm sure 21 Literal Pilots could put on a pretty good show. Oasis would be chill AF. 200 stab wounds would be awful. AC/DC would likely be a shocking experience. I like to think Green Day would be a one-day festival of everyone getting baked. Watching three guys blink 182 times probably wouldn't feel like it was worth the admission fee. Five-finger death punch. Stabbing westward depending on where you stood. Rage Against the Machine. Just flipping out on technology that doesn't work right. Fork you microwave. Go to hell blender. My Chemical Romance would definitely be something. Kidney thieves. And you thought Mario was stealing your liver. Slightly stupid. A never-ending circle of unintelligible conversation. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Spice Girls. Imagine Dragons would be pretty boring. Cage the Elephant might be interesting to watch though. Lil Baby would suck. The Rolling Stones could be deadly. The Kinks could be a good time. Sex Pistols, well. Lol. Presidents of the United States of America would end up a riot. Infant Annihilator. Grateful Dead. And you will know us by the Trail of Dead. Orgy playing with Band of Horses. Best, Ninja Sex Party worst, Megadeth. Anal Blast.